Hello everyone, my name is Gabriela Perez and I'm an educator here at the Bruce Museum. I am pleased to bring to you today Digital Bruce Beginnings, a program for children ages 3 through 5 and their caregivers. Today's theme is all about lines and shapes. We will visit an exhibition, read a book, and talk about some imaginative play and hands-on activities you and your adult can do at home. I hope you enjoyed today's program. Before we get started, I will give you a quick overview of our exhibition, She Sweeps with Many Colored Brooms, Paintings and Prints by Emily Mason. Emily Mason was an American abstract painter and printmaker whose art resulted in a rare alliance between spontaneity and premeditation. This exhibition showcases her earliest experiments with oil on paper and in printmaking. Mason's work illuminates a lifetime devoted to creative spontaneity and richly demonstrates the subtle, complex, and beautiful aesthetic that was distinctly Mason's own. There are many types of lines. There are straight lines, which have no bends or curves. There are wavy lines, which go up and down like fishes in the ocean. There are loopy lines that begin as a straight line and go up and around and then back down like a roller coaster. While zigzag lines are lines that repeatedly go up, then down, like mountains. Just like there are different types of lines, they also come in a variety of sizes and lengths. Lines can be long and stretch out very far, or they can be very short and no longer than your pinky. Lines can also be thick or thin, and a thick line looks like this, while a thin line looks like that. Learning about lines help us realize that they're at the beginning of creating fun shapes such as squares, rectangles, circles, and triangles. To make a square, you need 4 straight lines, 2 vertical and 2 horizontal. A vertical line begins at the top and ends towards the bottom, while a horizontal line goes left to right. This is a rectangle. Like a square, a rectangle also needs 4 straight lines. Yet a rectangle needs 2 long lines and 2 short lines. This is a circle. To make a circle, you need 1 long curved line with no openings. This is a triangle. To make a triangle, you need 3 straight lines, 1 horizontal and 2 diagonal lines. Diagonal lines are quite fun because they do not go straight, up or down or across. Instead, they start at one point, leaning left or right. Lines make up our everyday objects and shapes can be found anywhere, especially in art. I will now show you a painting by Emily Mason titled Blame the Bee. Can you find any of the lines we previously talked about in this painting? Can you find a straight line? Perhaps a curly line? What about shapes? Do you see any of the shapes we discussed in this painting? Pause this video, explore the painting, and discuss your findings with your adults. I will see you back here in just a moment. Were you able to take a closer look at the painting? What type of lines did you find? How many shapes did you see? Now that we have learned about lines and shapes, let's read a book about a young artist who uses lines and shapes to create art like the ones we see here in this exhibition. This is art. And this is art. Art and his art. Can you tell them apart? When art is in play, get out of art's way. He zigs, he zags, he really gets wired. There's no stopping art when art is inspired. He draws scribbles that squiggle. Dots, red, yellow, blue. Splotches with blotches. In the curliest cue. Art stares at the paper and uses his noodle to conjure up a perfect doodle. And doodles need houses and trees and cool cars. A dog and a moon and a billion bright stars. Art draws and draws till he flops in a heap, and among his creations he falls fast asleep. Now let's be quiet to try something we've heard. A picture is worth 1,000 words. And when he awakes a little bit later, Art sees his art on the refrigerator. Held there by magnets, stars in a heart, put there by mother. Because mother loves art. That was a great book. It included many of the things we talked about. Were you able to identify all of the lines our young artist used to create his drawings? Did any of his drawings stand out to you? If so, which one? What lines did he use to create that image? Now that we have visited one of the museum's exhibitions and read a book, let's talk about some activities you and your adult can do together to stretch your minds and imaginations. Think back to the lines and shapes we talked about today. I would like you to pick one line and one shape. Once you have chosen one of each, create a drawing or painting with only that line and shape. You can use crayons, markers, paint, or construction paper to create your craft. Another activity you can do is experiment with the lines we talked about today. Have an adult cut out a few examples of each type of line out of construction paper and try to recreate the shapes I mentioned earlier in the video. You can also use the same cutouts to create other shapes. For our last activity, take a look around your house and try to find as many lines and shapes as you can. Play with a friend and keep track of how many lines and shapes each of you find. Remember, lines make up our everyday objects and shapes can be found anywhere. Thank you for participating in Digital Bruce Beginnings. If you would like to share with us what you've created during this program, with your adult's permission, upload your image using our hashtag #BruceMuseum. For more digital content from the Bruce Museum, please visit www.brucemuseum.org. Bye, friends!